The purpose of this video is to show you how to share folders in Google Drive. In the last video, I showed you how to share individual files with other people. We shared this file right here with my work email, but the problem is if I want to make a change to this PDF document, you can't just change a PDF document. So I would have to go make the change in the editable version of whatever I created it with, Word or Google Docs, and then I would have to resave that as a PDF, and then I would have to reshare it with myself. That's not the most efficient process. Also, when you're sharing things, you tend to share things with the same people. For example, your boss, maybe your principal, or maybe your work colleagues, or maybe your partner team. You might have two other kindergarten teachers that you work with in your school, and the three of you share stuff all the time with each other. It's not as efficient to share individual files in that case. In that case, what you can do is share a folder, and then anything you add to that folder will be automatically shared with them. So you only have to do sharing one time, and then all you have to do is add files to that folder. So to do that, you want to start by creating your folder. So click on New and choose Folder, and I'm just going to call this Shared Folder so we can experiment with it, and click on Create. Then follow the exact same process as if you were going to share a file. Either right click and choose Share, or go up here and click on the Share button. And then you can choose who you want to share that folder with. I'm going to share it with my work email. Then choose whether they have editing or viewing privileges. This is really important when it comes to a folder especially. For example, if you're working with your students, you might have a folder of resources that you only want your students to be able to view and not edit. You might have a folder of worksheet type stuff where you want them to be able to make a copy of something, in other words, edit it. So think very carefully about whether you want to give editing or viewing privileges to a folder. I am going to give editing privileges in this case, and then I'm going to click on Send. Now, that folder is automatically going to be shared with this account. I'm going to get an email, again, just exactly like I did with the file, except for it's going to tell me that I have been invited to work in the following shared folder. Again, I can open that folder straight from here. And guess what? I don't see anything. It's telling me the folder is empty because I didn't put anything in that folder yet. I can from here say Add to Drive, and what that will do is it'll automatically put that folder in my drive. Or I can do the same process as I showed you in the last video. I can go into my drive, I could go to Shared with Me, I could find that shared folder, and I could drag it into my drive. Either way, it does the exact same thing. So now I can go into my drive and I can find the folder called Shared Folder, because I already added it to my drive from here. I can also just click on Open in Drive here. It'll open that file for me. Either way. And I'm not going to see anything in that folder because nothing's been added to it. So that means that I need to go in here where I originally created and shared the folder. I need to add stuff that I want to share with that other person into that folder. To do that, all I have to do is click and drag a file into there. So I originally shared this individual file. Now instead, I'm going to drag it into that shared folder. It's going to warn me, are you sure you want to share this file into a shared folder? This is really good because as you're moving files around in your Google Drive, you might forget that a folder is shared. You can always tell that a folder is shared by seeing that little head on the folder like here. This one's shared, this one's not. But just in case you forget and accidentally put a file into a folder that you don't want to share, it does warn you. So I'm going to drag it in there. It's going to warn me. I'm going to say, yep, I know that's a shared folder. It's okay. I want to share it. And now if I open that folder, I'm going to see that file here. And the person I shared it with also sees that file. So I'm in the shared folder. Here's that file I just added to it. What this means now is since I created this PDF document, I can make changes to that. I can add the new document into this folder. I can delete this old document or just keep it there. No matter what I do, I don't have to mess with the sharing settings. I can also go back into here and I can add more files. So let's say I want this Word file right here. I just drag and drop it into that shared folder. Again, it's going to warn me and say, are you sure you want to share this? I'm going to say okay. And the person I shared it with, when I refresh one more time, there we go, is going to see both of those files in that shared folder. So that is a really efficient way. If there's lots of things that you want to share with one particular person or a group of people, makes it a lot more efficient than sharing individual files. The other option that you have when sharing a folder is exactly the same as when we shared a file. When you go into share, you have that option to share with individual people, or this is a really great option, you can actually do a shareable link for a folder as well. So I can click on shareable link. I can say anyone with the link can view or anyone with the link can edit. I'm going to say anyone with the link can view and copy that link and say done. Now let's say that this is a folder of my lesson plans, for example. I can now take and post a link to that folder on my Google site, on my blog, on my school webpage. I can send it out via Remind 101, whatever I want to do with that link, and anyone will be able to view anything I add to that folder. So for example, let's open up an incognito window. Try again. There we go. I'm going to paste that link and click enter. Here's my shared folder. Here's the stuff in it. The person, so I am now just a random person that's viewing this folder. I can open and I can view, but I can't edit anything. So say these are your lesson plans. Every single week, you just add a new folder to your folder called, say for example, April 24th lesson plans, and click on create. Add your lesson plans in there, and whoever has the link to that folder will automatically see any changes that you make. So this is a great way to share your lesson plans with your administrator, to share lesson plans with parents. I also use this to share resources with my workshop participants if you're doing a training or any type of thing like that. So lots and lots of great uses for shared folders in Google Drive.